Welcome back and thank you so much for joining me in today's video. Hope you guys are having an awesome day and I appreciate you. I want to give you guys an update regarding the latest housing market trends we're seeing right now in the US. This is because Redfin just announced their latest housing market update regarding home prices, housing inventory, price reductions, and of course, much more. Also reporting here that home prices are down on a year-over-year basis in 15 of the 50 most populous US metros. So 15 of the 50 biggest cities that they were tracking here are recording decreases in home prices on a year-over-year basis here. And by the way, this is a significant increase compared to last week because last week they reported 11 cities recording decreases in home prices on a year-over-year basis. Now it's 15. And those 15 cities are the following right here. Prices fell 7.3% year over year in San Fran, 5.8% in San Jose, California, down 3.3% in Los Angeles, 3% in Austin, Texas, 2.6% in Pittsburgh, 2% in Oakland, nearly 2% in Detroit, as well as Sacramento, California as well. They also declined by 1% or less in Anaheim, California, Chicago, Philadelphia, Seattle, Riverside, California, as well as Phoenix and Las Vegas. It's worth noting though that the California Association of Realtors posted just a few days ago, actually last week, that in San Francisco, the median sold price from November 2021 through November 2022 decreased by 21%, the biggest decrease on a year-over-year basis for home prices statewide, whereas Redfin's recording a decrease of 7.3% for the 4 weeks ended December 11th of this year. Redfin also noted that in Los Angeles and Austin, home price declines are the biggest since at least 2015 as far as the data goes. So Los Angeles and Austin reported the biggest decreases in home prices on a year-over-year basis since at least 2015. It also says that in Las Vegas as well as Riverside, the declines were very small. Las Vegas was down less than 1%, as well as Riverside down less than 1%. However, though, this marks the first time Las Vegas and Riverside home prices have fallen on a year-over-year basis since at least 2015. So some very big changes regarding home prices here nationwide. 15 of the 50 most populous metros recording decreases in home prices. Whenever I say home prices, I mean the median sold price in that state here. Redfin also discusses some leading indications of home buying demand as well. So for the average 30-year fixed, that actually decreased slightly last week down to 6.31%, the fifth consecutive weekly decrease according to Freddie Mac, by the way. The daily average as of December 15th was 6.13%. This, by the way, is down from the 7.4% average rate that we saw in the end of October this year. So rates have decreased more than 1 percentage point since late October this year. Meanwhile, mortgage purchase applications, in other words, people submitting applications in order to buy houses using loans, of course. Mortgage purchase applications for the week ended December 14th increased 4% from 1 week ago and was an increase of 7.6% from 1 month ago. And this, by the way, is based on a report from the Mortgage Bankers Association, which I'll share with you guys here in just a little bit. But according to Redfin here, applications for home purchase loans increased 13.8% from late October, but we're still down 38% from 1 year ago. This is based on a report that was published on December 14th, where they recorded that purchase applications increased 4% from 1 week ago, based on a seasonal adjusted rate here, but was down 38% from the same week 1 year ago. And this number right here, down or actually up by 13.8% from late October. In other words, we have 13.8% more applications for home loans to buy houses right now compared to late October here. Now, I actually was kind of scratching my head regarding where they gained this number from. So if you actually go onto the Mortgage News Daily's website right here, they actually show their purchase index, or the MBA's purchase index, over time. So in late October, by the way, they said that applications were up 13.8% from late October. So late October is, let's just call it October 31st. At that time, the MBA's index for purchase applications was 160.5. Fast forward to that recent report, the index increased to 182.6%. And by my dumb math, that's a 13.8% increase since October 31st of this year. What this means is that applications in order to buy houses have increased by about 14% since October 31st this year. But when you compare this to 1 year ago, their index has decreased big time, because 1 year ago, their index was 287.5. Now again, it's down to 182.6%. That's a decrease of 38% on a year-over-year basis. Also, Redfin's Home Buyer Demand Index, which of course is an index based on requests for home tours and other home buying services by Redfin agents, was essentially flat from 1 week ago, but was up 5% from 1 month ago during the 4 weeks ended December 11th. It's still down about 27% from 1 year ago though. And here's a look at their index over time. Here's 2022. The gray bar or gray line is 2020, and the blue bar, or why am I calling bars? The blue line is 2021. Can't talk today, I'm still sick. Anyways, as of December 11th, their index decreased by 27% on a year-over-year basis. But as you can see, from mid-October, it has increased. Redfin also noted that fewer people are searching for homes for sale on Google. No big surprises there, down 34% from 1 year ago. They also reported that touring activity, and touring activity means real estate agents showing houses that are for sale to their home buyers. That's a home tour by a real estate agent showing houses to their home buyers. So touring activity as of December 11th was down 40% from the start of the year, compared to a 16% decrease at the same time last year. This is based on showingtime.com, which is right here. If you actually look through December 15th though, home tours are down a whopping 46.6% compared to the first week of 2022. Compare that to 2021, they were down by 21.6% compared to the first week of 2021. And also back in 2020, down by 8.5% to start the year in 2020. Okay, changing gears slightly, let's talk about some key housing market takeaways for 400 plus US metros that Redfin tracks on a weekly basis here. And this data covers the 4 weeks ended December 11th this year. And let's first discuss median sold prices in the US, because the median sold price in the US is at $353,750. That's the median sold price in the US for the 4 weeks ended December 11th this year. Only up 1.4% on a year-over-year basis, getting very close to negative territory here. It's also the slowest growth rate since the start of this pandemic here. And here's a chart showing the median sold price in the US this year. So home prices only up by 1% on a year-over-year basis. Again, the median sold price only $354,000. So again, we're getting very close to negative price growth on a year-over-year basis here. Because look at this, January 1st, the median sold price was $349,000. Now it's $354,000. This means that home prices only have to decrease by about $5,000 in order to break even from last year. If they decrease by more than $5,000, we're going to get into negative territory for home price gains on a year-over-year basis. It's also worth noting here that 1% increase in home prices we're seeing right now is so much different compared to 2021, because at this time in 2021, home prices increased by 14%. Let's actually include 2020 as well. Back in 2020, at this time, home prices were up by 14%. And back in 2019, this time, the median sold price up by 6% on a year-over-year basis. So the increase of 1% is far below the past few years when looking at year-over-year changes. And going back to Redfin's latest housing market update here, they also talk about asking prices, because asking prices only increased by 3.9% year over year. Also the slowest growth rate since the start of this pandemic here. Also, the average monthly mortgage payment on the median asking price home was at $2,276 per month at the current 6.31% rate. This is based on the rate for the week ended December 11th, according to Freddie Mac here. And this average monthly housing payment is down slightly from 1 week ago, but it's also down about $200 from 1 month ago because at that time rates were around 7%. So because rates decreased from around 7% down to about 6.3%, that causes the average monthly housing payment to decrease by about $200 per month. And here's a chart showing average monthly mortgage payments over the past few years. So average monthly mortgage payments increased 36.5% on a year-over-year basis. I mean, look at the trend line. It was absolutely skyrocketing until we hit more or less June of this year, and then kind of been all over the place ever since then. But back in 2021 as well as 2020, really had this plateau effect from the summer months all the way until year end. A slight decrease in 2020 towards the end of the year, but all over the place this year, but still up about 36.5% year over year. Meanwhile, pending home sales were down 33.3% year over year, one of the largest declines since at least January 2015, as far back as Redfin's data goes. And here's a chart showing this decrease in pending home sales over time. So pending home sales down 37.15%. Oh man, I don't know why. Every single video I make of these from Redfin, there's always some discrepancy here, some error. I don't know, 37.15%, or is it down 33.3%? I don't know. It's laughable. It's close, 33% and 37%. Pretty close, right? I don't know. Anyways, I don't know if it's down 33% or 37%, but still down greatly compared to 2021. Let's just leave it at that. Down by over 30% compared to 2021. Also below 2019's levels as well. And this line here in blue. And also according to Redfin, right here, among the 50 most populous U.S. metros, pending home sales fell the most from 1 year ago in Las Vegas, down a whopping 64%. Austin, Texas, down 58.3%. Phoenix, Arizona, down by 57%. Portland, Oregon, down by almost 54%. And Jacksonville, Florida, down by 52%. Giant decreases in the number of contracts being signed between buyers and sellers in these cities here. Let's also have a look at active listings and housing supply according to Redfin here. So new listings were down 21.5% on a year-over-year basis, the largest decline since the start of this pandemic. New listings down by 21.5%. Which actually agrees to their website here, their data center website here, down by 21.5%. New listings down greatly compared to 1 year ago. Again, the largest decline since the start of this pandemic here. Meanwhile, active listings, which of course is housing supply, the number of houses for sale right now was actually increasing by 15.9% on a year-over-year basis, the biggest annual increase since at least 2015. Let me share that with you right now. Here's active listings, up by 15.94%. There's approximately 809,000 houses for sale. Compare that to 2019 this time, there was actually over 1 million, just under 1.1 million. Now there's just under 810,000. Back in 2021, there was 698,000. Again, just like I mentioned in my previous videos, kind of interesting to see how this plateauing effect and actually this kind of slight decrease we've been seeing over the past couple of weeks now has been taking place, because from I would say March until really the summer months this year, inventory was absolutely skyrocketing. But until then, inventory levels have been kind of sloughing off ever since then. I will say this is entirely normal to see inventory kind of slough off in the second half of the year. As you can see, that happened in 2019 and of course in 2021 as well. I'm assuming 2020 probably happened the same. Yeah, inventory decrease in 2021 as well in the second half of the year. Redfin also noted that the month supply right now in the US is sitting at 3.7 months. This is, of course, a measure between the balance between demand and supply, of course. It's calculated by dividing the number of active listings or housing supply by closed home sales. The month supply at 3.7 months. Now here's a look at the month supply over the past 3 years. Again, the month supply right now is sitting at 3.7 months. That's an increase of 1.7 months on a year-over-year basis though. Because 1 year ago, which is the blue line right here, the month supply was around 2 months and has now increased to 3.7 months. Here's also a look at how fast houses are selling right now, because 29% of all pending home sales went under contract. In other words, a home seller accepted an offer from a home buyer, went under contract within the first 2 weeks of the house being listed for sale. In contrast though, this means that approximately 71% of all pending home sales went under contract after 2 weeks of the house being listed for sale. So the vast majority of houses selling after 2 weeks of being listed for sale right now. Let's also have a look at how fast or how slow houses are selling here in the US. So days in the market right now is at 37 days. So this means that houses are selling for about 9 days slower compared to 1 year ago. Houses selling for about 9 days slower compared to 1 year ago. This is because 1 year ago, days in the market was approximately 28 days. In regards to houses selling over the seller's asking price, only 25% of houses that sold above the seller's final list price. 25%, or approximately 24.7% to be exact. This is well below 2020 when the ratio was over 30%, and over 2021 when the ratio was actually over 40%. So this means that approximately 75% of the houses that sold during this time frame here sold at or below the seller's final list price. And lastly, let's have a look at the average sale price to list price ratio. Again, this is based on the final list price. So this metric right here basically excludes any price reductions, right? So here's the average sale price to list price ratio, which is at 98.3%, meaning houses sold for about 2% below asking price, or the asking price, which is much different compared to a year ago. Back in 2021, it was just over 100%, meaning houses on average selling just a little bit over the seller's asking price on average. Also compared to the spring months this year, look at this, 98.3% right now, 2% below. Back in May and June of this year, houses on average were selling for about 2.5% more than the seller's final list price. And with that said, please comment below your biggest takeaways from today's video. I appreciate you guys watching this video, and I appreciate you guys supporting my channel. I really appreciate that, I really do. Anyways, I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next video.